So Dale Cowan, Senior Agronomist with Agris and Wanstead Cooperatives again. So we're out in advance of the Great Lakes Grain Crop Assessment Tour. So we're in one of our test plots here, and so the corn is in the middle of its reproductive stages. The R stages are kind of important. R1 is the silking, R2 is blister, R3 is milk stage, R4 is dough, R5 is the dint on top of the kernel, and R6 is what we call maturity or physiological maturity, or black layers we call it, which is the end of the line and no more weight gets in the kernel. So when you talk about the yield components, it's the number of cobs per acre times the number of kernels times the weight per kernel. So what's impacting that right now is obviously some weather and some management factors. So early on in the R1 silking and blister stage, we can have some kernels lost aborted through hot, dry weather, high temperatures, dehydrating some silks, reducing pollen viability. So those are some of the things that can happen early on. But as we get into R3, which is when the kernels start to turn yellow, which means those endosperm cells are starting to fill with starch, then the weather starts impacting more on the weight components of those kernels. So it's all these different factors coming together. The number of cobs per acre started way back at emergence with how many viable plants came out and through the R6 stages and those kind of things when yield was being initiated. So it's kind of a season-long accumulation of yield, but these R stages are the most critical and the most affected by weather. And of course, the management side is when you get to this stage at tassel time, we're looking at plant health. And prior to that, we were looking at managing nitrogen as a system. So the two go hand in hand. There's no point in having plant health and running out of nitrogen. And at the same time, there's no point in managing nitrogen as a system and allow the plant health to decline and deteriorate to the point where you're losing your photosynthetic factory and can't fill the cob. And this cob right now on this plant, this cob right here, it's the boss. So it's hogging all the sugar. So you need nice green leaves, photosynthesizing, making the sugar. This cob is a big dominant sink. It's taking all the sugar, and if you can't get it, it's going to take it from the stalk, and then you have some other plant health issues and some standability issues come harvest time. So there's a lot of different factors out there. It's going to be interesting as we go through these fields just to see what's going on from the different stresses and the different growth stages where we are, and just what the kernel sets are looking like and how well the cobs are filling.